Welcome back, and glad you stayed tuned because we're not done yet, because we still have a lot of information to go through that I know the public, including myself, has been asking of these things. And but one of the things I'm impressed with, I was just looking at the map here around here, that basically started in Jackson, Michigan, because that's where the main headquarters are for Consumers Energy for the state of Michigan. But then you're moving next to the Muskegon, or West Michigan area, Muskegon, looks Ottawa, part of Kent, and Allegan County.
Yeah, we started in Jackson a couple of years ago with some testing programs to test out the different technology. We talked earlier about a mesh system. We tested a mesh system out there to see how it would work, different metering technology. So that was really a pilot. Our first production meters, the real McCoy, if you will, is here in Muskegon County. But we did start in Jackson because...
How did we get picked?
Well, because I live here. That's what I decided. No,
there we go.
That's right. I'm a Muskegon guy through and through. No, one of the reasons we picked Muskegon for a couple reasons. First of all, it's an all-electric service territory. Consumers Energy is actually a large gas company on the east side of the state, and we're still finalizing how the smart gas modules are going to work. It's a little bit different than this, and we're not talking about that today, but because we're still finalizing that, we wanted to start in an electric-only territory. So Consumers is electric-only in these areas, in Muskegon, Ottawa, most of Allegan, and most of Kent, we're electric-only. So and Muskegon County is a moderate-sized community. And it's got a combination of rural and urban. So in terms of the meter signals and the technology working in a rural area versus an urban area, we can see all that here in Muskegon County. It's really a microcosm of different parts of the state.
So it's a great test system.
It's a great test system.
The entire state. Okay.
Yep.
One of the things I want to go on is a little bit about some myths on these, and later we'll get into the installation and how the people are going to be affected and informed. But a lot of people are concerned about cell phone signals and how they're going to affect, because you're told, not to carry it next to your brain too much, it's going to affect your brain.
Right.
And we got a lot of myths here that I think you have answers for. Smart meters will make it easier for others to access my personal information. And we touched on that a little bit, but basically, consumers gets basically garbage.
Right.
And then after it gets through your firewall, then it's broken down to who, what, how come.
Right. There's no personal identifiable information that's sent to Consumers Energy. The only thing that's sent is kilowatt hours used, which it doesn't say it's coming from a bank account or from a certain house. It's just kilowatt hours used. It may be garbage to everybody else. It's important to us because we're the utility company, but there's no value to that information when it's being sent out, because it doesn't say where it's coming from. It doesn't say whose account it is. It just says kilowatt hours used. So that information sent encrypted several different ways to Consumers Energy. It's not linked up with your account or with our customer's account until it gets through our firewall in Jackson. So we feel we've been entrusted with our customers' private energy data for 125 years, and we take it very seriously, and we're going to continue to do that with the smart meters.
Okay, and then smart meters will emit high levels of radio frequency into my home.
The smart meters will emit radio frequencies when they operate, but they're only operating once a day. This meter will turn on once a day for several seconds to send the energy use information to consumers. But when it's not operating, it is not emitting any radio frequencies. Now, our cell phones, like the one I've got on my hip, is on right now. It's emitting the radio frequency trying to find my cell phone signal. The meter doesn't need to do that. It turns on and it turns off. So the level of radio frequencies are quite low. We use a couple different comparisons compared to a cell phone, like I just mentioned. Baby monitors, which are on all the time if you got young kids in the house. Microwave ovens, which when they run, they emit quite a bit more radio frequencies. Now, all those frequencies are approved and within the limitations set by the Federal Communications Commission.
Well, everything remote, your garage door opener.
Well, exactly. They all have radio frequencies. And what we want to emphasize is that this is running for a very short period of time, and that the radio frequency communication is away from the house. It's going up toward a cell phone signal. And when it's not running, there are no radio frequency emissions.
Just asking a dumb question from a dumb brain. Apparently that they do it different times, so that all meters try to do it at one time to access Jackson.
I'm not sure.
I'm just looking at it.
It might be. I'm not sure when they're going to be doing it, but it might be on a staggered
rotating basis or something. So yours may be a different time than somebody else, just so they don't overload it.
Right.
but it's like you said, several seconds to send
just
a
few seconds
report.
to send. Yeah, it's a very short amount of time. It's a very small bandwidth of information. We take the encryption very seriously. In fact, most of the bandwidth is used in the encryption process to keep the data secure. So
okay, and then another one here is smart meters enable consumers' energy to turn power on and off at will.
Yeah.
You can, but you can't do it by law, can you?
Right. There are strict billing practices that do not change with smart meters. We have practices that we have to notify our customers who have not paid their bill, that they're in arrears, that they owe us money, and that they will be shut off after this time. Now, I don't have all the details with me, but there's detailed practices that are set forth by the state of Michigan and the Public Service Commission. That doesn't change. What does change, and it's an employee safety concern really, is if we do need to go out and shut off somebody's power for non-payment. Or, well, we'll use the non-payment first. We may be going into a situation where the customer is hostile toward us. We've had customers who have been threatened. Okay. We've had customers who have had guns pulled on them. We'll be able to do this remotely now and keep our employees safe instead of sending them into what could be harmful situations. Now, another situation where this would work out with a remote disconnect, let's say you're buying a house and you need to get the power transferred into your name or transferred out of your name. Let's say you're moving. Right now, we only can give you an estimated bill, which we would true up later when we put it in the new person's name. Now we'll be able to ping that meter on April 20th saying Tom is moving out of this house. Here's your final bill. So we'll be able to give you that accurate amount on the day of your choosing.
Okay.
And then we can put it in the new person's name at the day of their choosing, so that there's not any overlap, and you're only paying for what what you've used. So yeah, billing practices remain the same. It's an employee safety issue, and it's also, we think, a customer convenience issue for these turn on and turn offs, like when you're moving.
Well, and then one of the other things too on these myths. Heard mentioned at one of the meetings that we were at one time is consumers going to know what time we turn our bedroom light off?
Yeah.
You know, how much is consumers going to obtain from this, and will they know that?
Right. The meter only records the whole house usage. It doesn't record the power in one individual room in a bedroom, or if you're turning on your whirlpool, if you get you fell asleep and your TV stayed on all night. That's happened to all of us. We don't care about that level of information, and the meter doesn't record it. The meter only records what it records today, the whole house energy use. The difference is it's recorded every hour, so we can give you more information on your energy use and how your energy use reflects in your energy bill. But it does not record individual.
Because I have heard that said from people, and it's, oh, they're going to be an intrusion in my privacy. No. And actually it's not.
No.
You're just going to have your electrical reading on an hourly basis, more or less, so you can use it for comparison, and consumers can use it for comparison. As far as a homeowner, you can cut back, and as far as consumers knows, it knows when to pull it from one grid to another to supply where there might be a shortage.
Exactly.
Or they watch this pattern that had been set up.
Mm-hmm.
Every day it's over 85 degrees. There's more air conditioners going on, so you're going to provide more electricity to this area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right, it gives us more information on how the grid's being used. Now, from an individual customer use, while our responsibility ends at the meter, customers today, even without a smart meter, can go and buy devices that they can plug into individual appliances, and they could see with a home energy monitor how much that refrigerator, that old freezer is running. Now, if a customer wants to get that engaged, they can go through that cost and set that up on their side of the meter inside their home. But that, compared with the hourly information they get from the meter, could give them a lot more information about their energy use. For example, we were talking earlier, if people have older appliances. I've got a freezer in my basement that I know is at least 30 years old. Well, it works well, but if I knew how much that was actually drawing, I might want to take advantage of our. Guess what? We've got a program. We've got a refrigerator and freezer recycling program.
Oh,
Tom,
okay.
I bet you didn't know that. But we will take out your old freezer or refrigerator and give you a rebate of $50 per refrigerator, limit 2, if you're interested in that. But by learning more about your energy use, you may become aware, man, that freezer must really, nothing else was on at the house, but I'm still using this much power.
Well, this freezer is great because it's paid for and it doesn't cost me that much. But when you look at your electric bill, it could. When you put a new one in there,
right.
Okay, it might be a a major cash outlay, but all of a sudden your use of electricity for that so efficiently can be cut tremendously.
Yes, an old refrigerator or freezer could be using 3 times the amount of power. 3 times, up to $150 more a year. $150 plus a $50 rebate, you're a pretty long way to getting yourself a new refrigerator or a new freezer. So
yeah, okay. So and is that a continuing program?
Yeah, the $50 rebate continues through the end of this year. It's part of our energy efficiency program. For that program, folks can go online to consumersenergy.com/EE programs to get more information on our energy efficiency programs.
Oh, that's super. I think we're going to take a little break here again, and we're going to finish up on what it really entails to the actual household as far as consumers being involved, coming to your house or whatever they have to do. So we'll be back. Keep watching and we'll round it up, and we're going to save you some of the electricity costs, we hope.